Before I begin, I want to offer a personal happy birthday wishes to Leonard Baruch. During my Mumford years, he was our junior high congregation advisor. Leonard, I at this point feel I'm old enough to call you Leonard. Happy birthday. When I was asked to give my Devar Mumford from 2019 again, my first reaction was, why? And then I thought about it. For those who lived it, hopefully it will again bring back some fond memories. But the real audience is those of you who grew up in another area or in another era. So this is what it was like for those of us now in our 70s and 80s coming of age in Detroit. In the 1930s, it was northern. In the 1940s and early 50s, central. And in the 50s and most of the 60s, it was Mumford, that beautiful blue and burgundy building on Wyoming. Afterward, it would be Oak Park High, Southeast Michigan's version of Levittown. We came from Hampton, McDowell, Schultz, Werner, Bagley, Post, and Pasteur. We grew up in Palmer Woods, Sherwood Forest, Green Acres, the University District, Marygrove, Bagley, and other neighborhoods. Some of us were from wealthy homes, others were not. When I was at Mumford, 75% of us were Jewish. On the high holidays, 100% of us were Jewish. Did you know that the school boundaries were gerrymandered to send as many Jewish students as possible to Mumford? We were segregated. As Steve Fishman told me, by the time he was a student there, half the school was Jewish and half was African American. Oh, plus the 3 guys who had been expelled from parochial school. Everyone got along and everyone was offered a great education. We shopped on Livernois and 7 Mile, the Avenue of Fashion, Marty First's, Junior Gentleman, Rainier's Bakery and B. Siegel, Kresge's and Cunningham's. Cigarettes were $2.19 a carton. Current price in Michigan is $8 a pack. You could get lox and other goodies at House of Foods until midnight on Saturday, bagels and your Sunday paper next door at New York Bagel, even later than that. We ate at Billy's, Lou's Finer and Sal's, at Larco's, Chinese Village Inn and Maria's Pizzeria, at Zukin's, Robin Hood Grill, and dare I mention Checker Barbecue, and of course, the granddaddy of them all, Darby's. We avoided Cupid's. Our place was Fretzon's. In the neighborhood, we had Adat Shalom, Avasachim, Beth Aaron, Beth Abraham, Temple Israel, and a number of small Orthodox schools. Shaarey Zedek had a school branch building on 7 Mile Road. We saw movies at the Royal, Mercury, and Varsity. We ate ice cream at Brown's Creamery, Wilson's Dairy, and especially Saunders. We got cured at Sinai, Mount Carmel, and New Grace hospitals. Most prescriptions at that time were filled at independent pharmacies. Don's Drugs and Chippewa Drugs were 2 of them that were near to my house. Wyoming had Jerome's Shoes, Modern Office Supply, Mumford Music and Joe Cornell, Curtis Drugs, Grunt's Market, Dexter Davison, the Raleigh House and Y7 Bowling. When I was there, Mumford had 4,000 students. It was really designed for less than 2,000. So I didn't meet Carol, my wife, class of '62, until we were in college. There were so many kids that my class had 2 with the same name, so they got numbers. We had Ronald Cohen number 1 and Ronald Cohen number 2. There were 11 class periods. Lowerclassmen went in the afternoon, upperclassmen in the morning. My freshman year, I started at about 11 o'clock and finished after 4. My senior year was great. Started at 8, done before 11:30. No yellow school buses. As a guy, you stuck out your thumb hoping for a ride before the bus came by. Your parents weren't concerned if you walked home from a friend's house at 11:30 at night. We learned to drive on the track in front of the school. There was only one left turn. You pretty much drove clockwise, round and round. During my time at Mumford, they had one stick shift vehicle, a station wagon, 3 on the tree, as it were, no power steering. The objective was to get the car up to 20 miles an hour along the back stretch in Wyoming Avenue into 3rd gear. So we really learned how to drive over at Northland. I'm told that the girls had tank suits to wear for swim class. Boys swam, as it were, en naturel. According to the Mustang manual, and I quote, "The wearing of jeans by girls is not to be countenanced." Didn't have much of a football team. Jewish kids didn't want to get knocked around. However, great golf team and tennis team. You raced from class to the lunchroom. Lunch period was 20 minutes. If you were at the end of the line, it was 5 minutes. In the late 50s, lunch cost 35 cents. There were large trays of homemade rolls. They were the best. You wanted to be there when they brought out a fresh tray of rolls. Milk was sold in small glass bottles. When you dropped one, everyone watched it bounce, waiting to see if it broke. Then you had to clean it up, embarrassed by all the cheers and clapping. And you had to pay for the bottle. Among others, Mumford produced epidemiologist Dr. Larry Brilliant, jazz musician Earl Klug, Grammy-winning songwriter Allie Willis, movie producer Bob Shea and his sister Linda. You might remember Linda as Magda, the orange-faced lady, in the movie There's Something About Mary. If you went to Mumford, I hope this brought back some pleasant memories, and if you didn't, I hope for you learned something about what it was to be a Mumfordite. Shabbat Shalom.